Funny how things turn out, isn't it?
I don't.
No, you cannot make this stuff up.
Well, now we can start. Here you are.
I was beginning to worry.
Really?
We missed you today at Kiwanis.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I was at the
This is your
Casper
busy time.
College,
Oh,
humanities.
oh. Are you officially
No.
retired?
No, but I'm not working very hard. Which I totally love.
Are you gonna do-
This is my forte, is not working very hard.
Are you gonna do taxes from your house, or are you still gonna go down to work and do a few taxes every once in a while?
We're just playing it by ear.
Mm.
20, 20, 20.
Yeah,
20, 20, 20.
Yeah?
I was saying it's a good poker night.
Yeah.
I show by the clock on the front of me that it's. I show by the clock on the front of me that it's 6 o'clock, so we'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. This is the February 20th, 2020 Planning and Zoning Commission meeting. Remind commissioners to turn your mics on if they're not already on. And if you have cell phones in the audience, if you could put them on mute or turn them off, it'd be appreciated. Planning and zoning policies and statements and procedures are available in the, along with agendas, are available on the outside lobby if you care to follow along. I would note for the record that we have a full commission board this evening, all 7 of us. We have Craig Collins and Dee Hardy with the Planning and Zoning Office, Wallace Trembeth with the City Attorney's Office, and Councilman Bates is our stand-in liaison with City Council, so we appreciate your attendance there. Starting out, I'd ask for approval of the January 16, 2020 minutes.
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Ani, seconded by
Terry.
Commissioner Wingeter. Are there any corrections or additions? Hearing none, please cast your vote for approval of the January 16th minutes.
With the exception of Commissioner Hein, who's abstained, all other members vote aye, and the motion passes.
Thank you. Moving ahead, we have one item on the agenda tonight. PLN 2006 ARZ is a petition to annex and plat the proposed Sun Trust Number 1 addition comprising 0.29 acres more or less, located at 2665 Allendale Boulevard, and consideration of a request to establish the zoning as R3, which is 1 to 4 unit residential. The applicant being Sun Trust Development LLC. Do we have a staff report, please, Mr. Collins?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Application has been made for an annexation plat and zoning to create the Sun Trust Number 1 addition to the city of Casper. The subject property encompasses approximately 12,700 square feet, is contiguous with the city limits on its east side, and is an irregular shaped property with 3 public street frontages. The property is currently occupied by multiple structures that are proposed to be torn down by the applicant. Land uses in the surrounding area include multifamily residential, single-family residential, and light industrial. The area is located within the city of Casper's urban growth boundary, is therefore appropriate for annexation and the provision of city services. The proposed plat is creating 2 lots at this time. The applicant has stated that further subdivisions of the property are likely in the future once construction plans have been finalized. Both proposed lots exceed 4,000 square feet in lot size. The applicant has requested R3 zoning, which is consistent with the surrounding zoning in the immediate area. The applicant's stated plans for the property are to construct residential structures, either single family or twin homes. The R3 zoning of the property would allow for up to 4 dwelling units per lot maximum. Mr. Chairman, I have 2 recommended conditions that are associated with the plat, none with the annexation or the zoning. We have 1 letter of opposition, which has been provided to you, and I have 9 exhibits. A is the application for an annexation. B, application for replat. C, petition for zone change. D, vicinity map. E, copy of the plat. F, public notice sent to the Star Tribune. G, notice of public hearing sent to property owners within 300 feet. H, public comment from Donald Schaefer, 825 East 26th Street. And I, memo to the chairman and members of the Planning and Zoning Commission. That concludes our report, and we'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Collins. Exhibits A through I are accepted for the record. Are there any questions for Mr. Collins regarding their staff report?
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Wingeter?
Can I ask about this, the issue before us tonight, or are you ready for that yet? We can, I can wait.
We'll have discussion on it, I suspect, but
Yeah.
if you have any specific questions on the staff report
Wait
itself.
for a second. I'm sorry.
Okay, with that, I now declare the public hearing open for consideration of case number PLN 2006 ARZ. The hearing will be conducted in accordance with state statutes, the rules of the Planning and Zoning Commission, and other applicable laws. I would ask the individuals who address the commission to approach the lectern, identify yourself, and please state your address. Would the person or persons representing case PLN 2006 ARZ please come forward and explain the application? Good evening.
What information do you need from me?
Just your name and address, and just a quick summary as to, in your words, what you're wanting to do with the property with respect to the annexation application and the plating and zoning. If there's anything you'd like to expand on, that would be fine. And then if we have questions for you, we'll cover that afterwards.
Okay.
So,
Tim Kozlowski. I reside at 1927 Rustic Drive, Casper, Wyoming 82609. I'm president of SunTrust Developments LLC, and basically you're just looking to annex the proposed lots. We were already involved in the build out of the 2 lots to the north of the proposed property, and just built those in the county. We had pre-approval from the county to go ahead and build on these lots as well, but due to county setback sizes, it would have greatly reduced our size of structure that we'd be able to put in. And that's when I approached Mr. Collins on doing an annexation to the city. And I just, as a general whole, enjoy building in the city a little bit more than I do the county. So that would basically be the reason behind the annexation. Our plan is to, as he stated, is to put up single-family or twin home units, similar in structure and concept to the 2 units are to the north. We are planning to change the design element of the single-family unit and the twin home that we're proposing for these lots, though, in that we're going to do a little bit more of a modern look. The two units to the north, the build that was requested of us there is basically has more of a, yeah, there you go right there. So it has more of an industrial look. The units that we plan to build, I did not get these to Craig before tonight, but I can pass these around. The top picture that you'll see in the full color there is some units that we were involved with in the build out in a development in Florida that I assisted with under a master builder out there, a master developer out there. And so that can kind of give you a little bit of a conceptual idea of what we mean by a more modern look. That's the top figure. And then you'll see the bottom figure there is one that is just being completed over on Melrose right now. That, well, hey, you'll see part of it at least.
Well, I wanted to see that detail.
So you can see the bottom one there on Melrose, you know, being a combination of vertical siding, steel siding, but both vertical and horizontal, with then a rock fascia along the bottom. So just gives a little nicer cosmetic appeal. The 2 units that we already built that we were involved with on the build to the north of the proposed property were, you know, we built as request. We helped with the build as requested, which was just vertical steel siding, and we're done and gone. So this is kind of a footprint, as you can see, of the conceptual buildings. You'll see, obviously, the shape is significantly different from the 2 buildings to the north. You can see in the full color picture there from the units that were done in Florida, where we've got, you know, windows taking up corners and just a much more aesthetically pleasing look. So that's kind of a general design concept. We haven't gone as far as actually paying our architect here to work up full-blown designs until we knew that we had our annexation approval and could proceed from there. So.
Okay, and just for the record, the 2 exhibits that you presented, we'll accept those, and I'll call those exhibits J and K.
The one with the footprint there, Craig, that's the only copy that I have. Not that one, that one. If we could just have a photocopy of it made for you guys. Either way.
Stop by and I'll get a copy of it.
Okay, that, questions for Mr. Kozlowski. I'll start with one. Staff has recommended 2 conditions associated with the plat that would be proposed. Are you aware of those conditions? And do you have any issues with them? The conditions, as I'm reading them, his first recommended condition, at such time as required by the city, the applicant owner shall participate financially on a proportionate basis to complete City of Casper standard street improvements along the Allendale Boulevard street frontage of the SunTrust 1 addition. And then the second proposed condition, at the time that Lot 2 is developed, owner shall install curb, gutter, sidewalk, and ADA ramps along the east 27th Street frontage of the property. My question to you would be, do you have any issues with those proposed conditions in terms of what it would potentially do to your project?
Yeah, I was not made aware of those until right now. And I would object to that because that's going to significantly increase our cost basis for this. With the proposed buildings and annexation, we're already pretty much at the top of our budget as is, because we're trying to build these to be affordable. So adding in sidewalks and street improvements, that kind of thing, would blow us, way beyond.
Okay, I'll ask if I could have liberty, Mr. Collins, would you care to expand on your proposed recommendations as to the advantages or the reasons for why you've included those recommendations?
Those are ordinance requirements. Municipal code, all city streets need to be built to city standards, and adjacent property owners are required for doing that. In this case, I'd say that the applicant is lucky that somebody else has already put the utilities and asphalt down for them. They would have had to pay for that also. So the 27th Street frontage is very small. That's should be relatively minor to bring that up to code along their frontage, and there's no immediate plans for the Allendale side, the west side. That would be at such time in the future, and that would be up to the then property owner.
Okay.
Okay, so if I'm understanding, because maybe I misunderstood, you're just asking for basically that far south boundary line of 27th to be sidewalked?
That would be the only one immediately due when it's built upon, yes.
Okay. And then there would be a future request for sidewalk where else?
Along Allendale, if and when Allendale is developed to city standards.
Oh, okay, gotcha. So, in other words, if Allendale becomes city standard all the way through at that time, okay.
Yeah, you'll have to,
That's fine
the
then, yeah.
property owner will have to participate.
Okay, understood then,
Okay.
that's okay.
Further questions from the commission for Mr. Kozlowski?
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Wingeter?
once everything's approved with the city council and all that, how soon are you gonna build? I'm just curious. Are you gonna right away or?
Yeah, right away, our plan is to start excavation in May, and pending, final approval, begin to pour foundation in June.
Are you living up there now in that trailer?
The what now?
No, his address is on Rustic.
Oh,
No, I'm sorry, I'm on Rustic Drive. No, the buildings there, we purchased that entire property, from a gentleman that, is in assisted living now. So, no, we purchased the property just to, I mean, as Craig knows, a lot of our goal in properties that we purchase in Casper is to bring everything up and beautify it. So no, our plan was to just level everything and start fresh. So no, I'm not living in the trailer.
I would hope not from what.
If you walk through it.
Side comment, no. All right, further questions for Mr. Kozlowski from the commission?
I have a question.
Vice Chairman Hein?
You're gonna build, it's 3 stories then?
No, just, Craig, can you pull up the pictures of the 2 existing structures? The 2 to the north. Yeah. So this is the Jefferson side, and so basically the concept is, on the Jefferson side, that's where you have a 14-foot garage door bay, and so really that's the drive-in portion. The garage extends underneath the living quarters then, and if you'll go to the next slide. So then the living quarters is just a single story on the Allendale side.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool. Thank you.
And I did have a chance to read the letter of objection. I don't really understand that because I went and drove the neighborhood today, and these 2 structures are one of about well over a dozen that look just like that. So I'm not sure why that gentleman is opposed to further structures, but we built in standard with the rest of the surrounding communities.
Okay. All right, further questions for Mr. Kozlowski?
I do, Mr. Chairman. have a
Commissioner Frank?
question. At the present time, it looks like one of these pictures is showing 3 different lots there. And-
That's the existing lot.
That's the existing.
Okay, so we're going to reduce those 3 to 2?
Correct.
Okay, so the one on the far north is one, and then the other 2 are together. Is that about where it's going to be?
Approximately.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
So you'll have, so you're talking about doing a single family or twin home on each one of those 2 lots then, at the way they are?
So the lot to the north would be just a single family unit,
Okay,
and then the larger lot to the south would be a twin home.
okay,
Yep.
okay.
And if this kind of details that.
So there's no requirement to do a sidewalk along the Jefferson Street, or is there already a sidewalk?
There's already a sidewalk.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
And there are only utilities to the northern lot at this time, so we'll be paying to bring utilities to the southern twin homes. Yeah, that kind of gives you. So
Oh,
there's your-
okay.
There's
So
your
that's
north
how-
lot, and then your south lot with. the
Okay.
twin home.
Okay. Further questions for Mr. Kozlowski? Thank you, Mr. Kozlowski. Appreciate your insight. As required by state law, we will invite people to comment in favor of or in opposition to all public hearings. Is there anyone in the audience wishing to speak either in favor of or in opposition to case PLN 2006 ARZ? All right. Seeing none and there being no others to speak for or against, I now declare the public hearing closed and advise that the annexation, the replat, and the zone change will be voted on separately, so we'll have 3 separate votes on the issue, assuming the, contingent upon the first one passing. I would now entertain a motion to approve and forward a due pass recommendation to council to deny or to table case PLN 2006 ARZ regarding the annexation into the city. Do I have a motion for annexation?
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to re-annexation PLN 2006 ARZ.
Second.
Okay, motion by Commissioner Wingett, seconded by Vice Chairman Hein. Is there a discussion? Hearing none, please cast your vote. And please record the vote.
With all members voting aye, the motion passes.
Okay, I will entertain a motion to approve and forward a due pass recommendation to council to deny or to table case PLN 2006 ARZ regarding the plat. And I would remind commissioners that staff has recommended 2 conditions associated with the plat.
So move, Your Honor.
Your Honor? Damn. Moved by Commissioner Davis, seconded by Commissioner Wigger. Discussion. And your motion includes the conditions?
Yes, the 2 conditions are part of it.
Conditions that are proposed in staff's report. All right. Further discussion?
With the conditions, yes.
With the conditions. All right. Hearing none, please cast your vote. And please record the vote.
With all members voting aye, the motion passes.
Okay, and thirdly, I would entertain a motion to approve and forward a due pass recommendation to the City Council to deny or to table case PLN 2006 ARZ regarding the zoning, and that would be an R3 zoning. Do I have a motion?
Well, I guess I'll be happy to make a motion to approve.
And to forward a recommendation?
With the conditions.
Well, we don't need conditions on the zoning,
Well, just approve.
but we would forward a due pass recommendation to council.
Forward to the city council.
Okay, a motion by Commissioner Wingeter,
I'll second.
seconded by Commissioner Feth. Discussion.
You know, Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner
I
Wingeter.
think the aesthetic wise, it's just gonna improve the area. I really do. And I don't know why this gentleman's opposed to it, but I just think it's gonna improve the area. And I appreciate the faith you have in the area too.
I would second that. I would agree with that wholeheartedly. Further discussion? Hearing none, please cast your vote. And please record the vote.
With all members voting aye, the motion passes.
Okay, you're on to your next phase. Okay,
Now off to the city council.
Next on our agenda, council items. We have, there were 3 items the council has acted on. Just for reference, the approved Fairgrounds Home Edition number 2, the Illy Edition, and the zone change of the North Wilkins Way property that was in front of Planning and Zoning a couple of months ago. And I would ask if Councilman Bates, if you have anything as our liaison, if you have anything that you'd care to share. If not, that certainly up to you. I don't. Thank you. Okay, thank you. Moving on to the OID Advisory Committee, we had an issue last month, Vice Chairman Hein, where we conditionally reappointed you, subject to your acceptance to serve, along with Commissioner Feth. And I don't know if that ever reached you, but if you want to serve it.
It did. I'm really good with that.
Okay, good. With that, I'd ask Commissioners Feth and/or Hind if you have anything to report on with the OID.
I was not in attendance.
Okay,
And we didn't have a meeting last month,
okay.
but I was at the one before. And I think Fred reported on that.
I think you did give us a report last month, so. Okay, I'll assume that we're all good to that, and the next one item would be the Historic Preservation Commission, or
Mr.
Commissioner
Chairman, we didn't
Winger.
have a meeting last, a couple weeks ago either.
Okay,
That you was supposed to attend.
that's right, and I was, and I didn't attend because you didn't have a meeting.
You was out of town, so was I. So,
But they didn't meet anyway, so that was good. Okay, with that, I'd say, ask if there's any items from the commission or the staff that you'd care to bring forward. And I'll open it up to the public, and I will again limit public comments to less than an hour. All right, next item, I would note for the record that our next meeting, did you have something, Craig? You leaned forward like you were going to talk. Okay. Our next meeting will be Thursday, March 19, 2020, at 6 PM here in council chambers. Next on the agenda, Commissioner Frank.
I would
Commissioner
move
Frank.
to adjourn.
I'll second that.
Motion to adjourn by Commissioner Frank, seconded by Commissioner Mueller. Please cast your vote for adjournment. And please record the vote.
With all members voting aye, the motion passes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yeah, I like
Yes,
that.
Your Honor.